time it is, Mr. Platt Platt. And yo, we here for a minute. And we gonna take this time to spin it. And we gonna talk about this. What makes it so aggressive? Some people want their dogs to be aggressive, while some people don't want their dogs to be aggressive. You know, it's all get back, Mo, get back. It's all on. It's all on the person with the dog, whether they want their dog to be aggressive or not. But some dogs just get aggression and just become aggressive sometimes. Now, me, in the way I believe, I don't think a dog just become aggressive. I believe the aggression is brought out of a dog by the handler or the trainer. I think sometimes, you know, the aggression is brought out by the trainer or the handler in most cases. And then sometimes I do believe that a dog can just be naturally aggressive, but most times aggression is taught, and the way that it's taught, most of the time is by, you know, the upkeep of the dog. You know, at one time, my dogs, they aggressive. It's safe for me to say I got aggressive dogs. But at one time, they weren't aggressive. But I think the number of them kind of caused the aggression to come because it was so many of them, and it was so many. It was like a challenge, you know. Like they had too much to compete for. Stop, little girl. They had too much that they was competing for. So you know it was. You know it was all go now, son. Go. You know, it was all about them eating. Go. You know, feeling like they had to eat all their food first before all the food gone. Because I didn't single out their food. I didn't give them all their own bowls. I used to take 2 big old bowls and feed about 12 or 13 dogs out of 2 big bowls, and they'd be side by side. And all of them would be eating, and then at one time, one dog, once they started getting older, one dog didn't want to keep sharing, so he started growling. And you know, a lot of times I have them in the kennels when they was eating. I lock them in the kennel, and that way I could go do whatever I need to do while they was eating around. And I started noticing when I started hanging around, when I didn't have nothing to do and I would hang around, then I would see the aggression out of certain dogs started. You know, like one dog started growling, and then the dogs would start stepping back and allow him to take over the food. And I guess after a while, they start seeing, okay, if we keep doing this, we ain't gonna never eat. So they had to get aggressive back. They had to, they had to stop letting him get away with it, because as long as he was getting away with it, he was getting the majority of the bowl. And they was knowing, like, man, we ain't eating like we supposed to, cause this sucker here keep on tripping. So, they had to step it up. And a lot of that would take place when I wasn't around, because if I'm around, I'm going to redirect everybody's energy, and I'm going to remove the dog that's causing all the friction. He would have to come on out. And so, and that's what I used to do. I used to take them on out. And normally, most of the time, believe it or not, when the aggression was going on, most of the aggression would come from the smallest dogs. It wouldn't be the big dogs. It would be the smaller dog puppies that was, doing all the growling and, doing all the intimidating and acting like, he was the toughest thing. And with dogs, see, a simple intimidation with a dog would be a simple growl. A dog could do just simply growl and intimidate the next dog just from growling. And when that happens, the dog that's intimidated will step back and allow the intimidation to go on. So when that would happen, then you gonna have a dog that's gonna miss out on eating, because he has allowed the other dog to intimidate him out of his food. And so, after a while, I guess they get old, and the dogs be like, you ain't gonna keep on getting away with this. And so they get tired of it, and they start standing up for themselves, like okay, we ain't gonna keep taking this. We ain't gonna keep allowing this dog to dictate if we gonna eat or not. So, once they figured that out, they would, they like, okay, we ain't going for this no more. And that's when a lot of the times the other stuff will start. They start being a challenge. It started being all right, let's go. Let's fight. Let's go, because I'm gonna eat. And like I said, a lot of times stuff goes on that you don't even be around to see. You won't even know what's going on until you stick around. You happen to just stick around one day while they eating, and you see it. And you like, oh, hold on, little buddy. Cause Lil Crook, and this pack and her, Lil Crook he was the smallest dog And he was one of the most intimidating dogs in the pack. He used to sit there and he would growl and he'd growl and he'd make all the dogs get back, and they would allow him to eat until he was satisfied. And you know, I'm looking like, what in the world? Y'all scared of this little bitty little thing? And sure enough, when you learn about dogs, you will learn that a dog's biggest tactic is simply intimidation. Just the bottom line. A dog don't have to bite. A dog don't have to fight. A dog don't have to do nothing but growl. And if he growls nice and hard and deep, the other dog, and sometimes it'll be a larger dog, and a lot of times the larger dog be intimidated by the smaller dog. I threw a bunch of water down here, and it ain't dry up. This cardboard was up under it, so I gotta change all this cardboard. But yeah, you know, they intimidate. They use that intimidation tactic, and most of the time, a little dog, like if you ever seen a little Chihuahua, just constantly bark, and growl, and the big dog jump back like, whoa. That's simply because the big dog is intimidated by the little dog. But now, if the little dog make the mistake and bite, that's when the big dog becomes unintimidated, because he feel the bite of the little dog, and he see like, okay, this all he got. You know, it's like a bully, like in real life, not the dogs, like a real life bully. If he's steady trying to punk you at school and take your stuff, and he big or whatever, he got some size on him, and you see him doing it all the time, you know that stuff will work. And then the first time when he try to punch you, and you feel him hit you, and you be like, oh, this is hard as he hit. At that moment, you go in on him. Because you know, like, okay, he don't even hit that hard. He just was blowing. He just talk a lot of talk. Same way be with dogs. You know, they do all they barking and growling and you know, and try to, you know, intimidate the next dog. And then as soon as that little dog turned around and bite the big dog just instantly go in on him and turn him up. And the little dog hurt after that. But the whole time, the little dog, if he would have just stuck to just growling and would have never tried to bark, you know, his intimidation tactic would have worked. But the minute he turns around and he tries to bite on the big dog know now what he working with. He know now, like, oh, this ain't nothing. And then, you know, and the big dog take over from there. So yeah, it's that's how it be. But what makes a dog aggressive? A lot of times, depending on if you purposely making your dog aggressive, or if your dog just happen to just start being aggressive. Okay, is what we need to know about. So if you want to purposely make your dog aggressive, then a lot of times people gonna take them and they gonna take something, you know, a towel or a sock or a string, a rope, and they gonna put that dog on there and let them play tug of war. Now, tug of war is a good way to make your dog aggressive. If you want to make your dog tough, you want to make your dog mean, then play tug of war with them. Play tug of war with them. And I guarantee you, after a while, his aggression will start coming out. And then also along with tug of war, when somebody playing tug of war with the dog, and they got the dog shaking on the towel or whatever they using, you know, most people doing what? They saying what? Why you doing it? Get him, boy, get him. So now you training them along with making them aggressive. You also training them because you teaching them, you know, you teaching them when you telling them, get them, boy, and you putting words with it. See, now you teaching them. That's where the training coming in, because now you giving them the words. You giving them the word, and you putting the word with the game. So when you ready and you done played with him long enough, and now you ready to try to make him, you know, be protective, he already know halfway what to do, because he know he been playing tug of war, and he knows what the word get him mean. And when he hear the word get him, he gonna relate that word. He gonna relate that word, of course, with whoever you telling them to get. And then if you touch on that person or something, like playing with them at the same time and tell your dog, get them, boy, and pulling on their shirt or something, then of course the dog go start growling or barking like that right there. Because they know what you done taught them. You done taught them to be where they are. You know, you done trained them now to be aggressive, and you done gave you basically, I could just say, trained them. So after that, they on point. And they ready. Now, while we early off in the video tonight, what I want to say to all my viewers and to the people that leave the comments, because I'm going to be fair, and I know that it seems unfair that dogs are in cages, and I see that, you know, a lot of people don't like that, so what I'm gonna do for y'all is this. I'm gonna start after we doing the video, and if you want to, I'ma do what's called the open floor, a live open floor. So you can come back after the video done and the floor be open. We gonna be live and you can come back and you can ask questions. You can make all your comments about the dogs being in the cage. And I'ma actually sit down with you and I'm gonna answer all y'all questions. It don't matter if they positive or negative. Whatever you want, you know, you can scream at me about the dogs in cages. You know, we gonna be open for all that conversation. And I'ma even answer y'all questions. I'ma accept, you know, the bad talk, the good talk. I'ma accept all of it. And cause I want to hear what y'all got to say, because I see that a lot of people really be hurt when they see my setup, I believe. Like, a lot of people just be like, he should keep them dogs in them cages. So I'm going to give y'all the opportunity to talk to me about it, you know? And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to let y'all ask questions. I'm going to read the comments. I'm going to respond to you. But that's going to always be after the video is done. Once I'm done doing what I do, then I'm going to go in. I'm going to go to my office and sit down. And I'm going to relive. And you can come back and you can, you know, give me all your questions or all your comments that you want to hear a response to. And I'm doing this mostly for the people who don't agree with the setup, because what I'm working on and what I'm trying to get going is this. I'm trying to meet some of the viewers' expectations. I'm trying to get some of the viewers to see the changes that's gonna be getting made, you know, with the dogs, and the keeping of them. And what my goal is to take y'all from upset viewers to happy viewers. I want y'all to be able to say, yeah, you know, I had to tell him how I felt, and he actually listened, and he got the dogs out of the condition they was in, and boo woo 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 woo. So, you know, I'm gonna give y'all, if y'all want it now, you ain't gotta come back, cause you probably don't like me so much that you probably won't even join the live conversation. And that's cool too, but we gonna have people on there that's gonna, cause I know some people gonna take it, and some people gonna understand what I got going on, and some ain't. And I ain't gonna respond with no negativity, cause I'm actually curious to hear, you know, what y'all got to say, like why y'all saying it. So it can be more of a conversation. Cause like now when I'm working like this, I'm gonna be doing most of the talking, as y'all know. You've been on here, you've been watching. I ain't gonna respond to everything, because if I do, I never get done in here. So that's why I just do most of the talking, and leave people open to listen. And you know, I hit different topics all the time and talk about different stuff. And you know, a lot of times it may not be about dogs, and a lot of times it's gonna be about dogs. Cause it's even like right now, I got a topic I really want to talk about that ain't got nothing to do with dogs. And I ain't even got to really talk about it, but I just want to mention it and put it in the air And this is more for like, the hip hop culture or the hip hop world or whatever, the music world. Because I know people that's all here listening to music and know what's going on social media because they all heard. But everybody looking at Big Meech right now and talking about the way that he told on dude from St. Louis or whatever. And with me being from St. Louis, I understand, that of course I'm gonna say I don't agree with what's going on or whatever happened. If it's true, it's true. If it ain't, then somebody just doing something to do it. But I really don't believe dudes of them calibers just be putting stuff out there just to put it out there. Because, these guys was dealing in a lot of money. And they talking about this GoFundMe page right now because 50 Cent, 50 Cent riding on Meech, on Big Meech and riding on Little Meech or whatever. And they talking about this and that. And they keeping street principles going on. Like they keeping street shit going on. And they ain't even in the streets no more. They ain't gonna touch. You bring a kilo to one of their offices, they bound to shit on themselves. Because they ain't trying to lose what they got going on. So a lot of them gonna be like, hey man, get that out of here. What you doing with that? A lot of dudes ain't even. So my thing is, if you ain't in the streets, why you keeping street shit going in the industry? Let that shit, leave that shit in the streets, man. If you ain't no street dude, then you really shouldn't be speaking on no street principles, even if you done been in the streets or whatever. You ain't in the streets no more. So you ought to not even be, none of them dudes be pushing that stuff, because all it's doing is causing the youth to take on, to take on the BS. Because they thinking it's cool and everybody spending all their time with their oohs and ahs about what's going on. What these guys on here, what everybody's saying, but ain't none of them in the streets. So they shouldn't be saying nothing. But what I am gonna say is this: that dude Big Meech, all right, he one of the guys in the black world. A lot of people will never do what he done in the streets. Nobody almost do what he done as far as when it comes to the street game. Okay? Dude put his work in. He had that shit like that. And a lot of people ain't never gonna be able to do that. But this is the thing too. Okay? If everybody thinking about that he needed all that money for Bill, he needed that concert he was gonna do for Bill money. Okay? Sure enough, he went and did 20 years in prison. But dude made enough money to live off of for a lifetime when he was in the streets. He made enough money for 10 people to live off of for a whole lifetime. So Now everybody talking about this GoFundMe page and they think this dude broke. Hey man, that dude ain't broke. Don't be stupid. I can't believe people that stupid to think that this man sold all this work and had all that shit and they think he broke. They think this dude ain't got no money. How silly can you be? Because he went to jail. He had to have stuff that was in other people's names, from houses and not just no cars he done had. I know he had to have something going on in other people's names to where he came home. He should have had probably $10 million just in real estate. You know what I mean? Because dude had too much money, man. He was making a lot of money. If you go back and you go do the numbers on the run he had, and he had this run since the 90s, man, you gotta be crazy if you think that dude broke. That dude got a whole bunch of money. I know damn well he got a whole bunch of money. Now, who he trying to fool? I don't know. Maybe he trying to fool the feds. Or maybe he trying to fool the people. And I know he ain't trying to fool the feds because unless he owe whatever they call that once you do a crime, they make you pay. They make you pay whatever you took out of the community or whatever. Unless they trying to get that out of them, people should be smart enough to know that man ain't broke. And it really hurt me to know that people be so ignorant to stuff that's just common sense. How would you ever think a dude a dude like that was smart enough to even create that type of lifestyle for himself? How could y'all be crazy enough to think that he broke? How could you be that stupid to think that he broke and he can't pay his bills? And he ain't just come home from the steak joint. Dude just came home from the federal joint. So if he just came home from the federal joint, you gotta know that he done crossed paths with some people. And even if he's supposed to toll, even if he told, he still crossed some paths in there with some people that taught him some stuff to where he ain't even got to sell dope no more, and he'll never be broke again. And you know, cause you got the people in there that could have taught him that. There's people in there that's done told too, that's smart and got millions of dollars and they cooperated. So if they in there and they done told, it's only common sense to think that he gonna link up with them and they gonna put him on game to how to always have money and don't ever be broke again. That's just like common sense. You would think people would know that. That dude went to the federal penitentiary. And he just as strong in his army as what's that one dude named El Chapo. Dude just as strong as El Chapo. And they even got stuff out on El Chapo saying that, you know, he done did stuff. But don't nobody know. And ain't nobody proving nothing. Everybody just talking. And they could tell a broke person anything, and a broke person will believe whatever. You could go get a rich person and bring them around somebody that ain't got nothing. And he could sell them the biggest dream in the world, and they'll go for it. And they'll believe every word that's coming out that person's mouth. And they'll be lying like hell. They'll be lying like hell. Ain't nothing but a bunch of lies coming off their lips. But a person that don't know no better, a person that's just, you know, just hungry, just starving, just, you know, a person that do anything for the bag, man, they can tell him anything. I'm gonna make you rich overnight. I just need you to do this. And that's what's gonna get done. And then that person that do it, they don't realize it until, you know, the jukes go down and they done got beaten. Just like the dudes in Young Dolph case. The dudes in Young Dolph case, so allegedly, what they say about him, he was supposed to got paid $100,000, but allegedly he was supposed to get paid $100,000. But what happened? Dude ain't get his money. So somebody sat down and sold him a real good story. It made him really feel like, you know, this is possible. And so they went and did whatever. They went and killed that young man. And ain't nobody get no money. Ain't nobody get no money they supposed to get. Except for, you know, one or two people. And that was the person that sold the dream. Like it always happens. You know, that's why you gotta listen to the music that these artists make. Like Meek Mills, Dream Chaser. Where you think he came up with that song? How you think he came up with that name for that song? He came up with the name Dream Chaser. You think he just said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna call this album Dream Chasers"? No. Somebody sold him a dream, and he went for it. And right at that moment, he dropped that album. He dropped it, Dream Chaser. So somebody sold him a dream. And, you know, and told him this year. And now, whether his dream went through or not, hey, y'all better leave that bucket alone. Put it down. And whether his dream went through or not, I don't know. But we know that he made that song Dream Chasers. And we know he made it because the man was chasing a dream, man, plain and simple. He was trying to get a bag. And you know, they knew he had skills. They knew dude could drop some music. They knew he could sell some albums. So they made it sound. They made it sound as good as they can make it sound for him. And you know, and he chased after, he got a little paper out of it, I'm pretty sure. He probably ain't get though what he thought he was gonna get. Cause now, they even got his name all drugged through the mud, saying that he done this, allegedly he done that, and he done got this, and got this done to him, and it's just all kind of stuff going on. And they got a saying that said, man, don't believe none of what you heard. Half of what you see and none of what you heard. None of what you heard and half of what you see. But I'm going to say, none of what you heard. You can't believe a lot of the stuff that you heard. And when they say don't believe none of what you see, all you gotta think about when you hear that, all you gotta do is think about a magic trick. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. So if they telling you, when they say don't believe half of what you see, all you gotta do is think about a musician trick. You think about a musician trick. If I make a quarter come out their ear, you know that quarter ain't really come out their ear. You know that's some bull crap, right? Exactly. So if you know that's some bull crap, then you understand that you can't believe nothing else. So you know not to believe none of what you see, none of what you heard. Because most of the time, everything you heard is definitely BS. For the most part. Let's say that, unless you heard it from a source that's what's the word I'm looking for? If you heard from a source that's reliable, then you can believe it then. Most sources ain't reliable. Most sources just heard something from somebody else. As soon as the person sees something on YouTube, first thing they do is what? Call you and tell you to look at this video, check out what they said about such and such. And people, as soon as they see the video, next thing you know, the rumor going all around the town about what the person was supposed to have done. as soon as somebody drop a video on YouTube, first thing people do is call somebody and tell them, hey, man, they said such and such on YouTube. And they go, they'll go and put that. They'll go and put that shit in place. What's up? They'll go and put it in place as soon as they hear it. As soon as they hear it, they'll go put it in place. They gonna tell everybody. They gonna tell people before people even get to see it on TV. They gonna go and go say, man, such and such said such and such did such and such. You know, and next thing you know, what? That stuff all over everything, and the whole time, you know, that half of it don't even be right. Most of it be fraudulent, you know, and but everybody know about it now, and everybody believe in it, and then once the truth come out, then everybody be talking about, oh, I knew that. I knew that when I seen it. I knew that. But they the same person that got on the phone and called their own mama talking about, Mom, you see that on YouTube? They mama's watching YouTube. Your mama ain't got no business. I ain't gonna say watching YouTube, but she ain't got no business watching. If she, depending on her age, she ain't got no business watching nothing her kids interested in, unless it's the stories. You know, unless it's a soap opera. But, you know, people mama know 50 Cent talking about dude. And you be just sitting there listening like, dang, this stuff done spread it like wildfire. And like I said, you don't know if it's true or if it's a lie, but you gonna go repeat it though. That's what a lot of people do. They gonna repeat it. But we know. But we know, and we understand. We know and understand the way the game goes. A lot of people. Hey. That's them y'all dogs. Them ain't mine. Them y'all. And here come the crazy one. Hey, chill out. Get on in there. Now these videos. I said cut. Shut up. Shut it up. Shut up. No, shut up. Everybody shut up. Yeah. What did I just say? No, cut it. They get so hyped up. They get so hyped up they don't know what to do. Let him go. Hey, let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Gibber, let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Shut up. Let him go. What'd I say? I said let him go. 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 Hey, let him go. Let him go. Let him, hey, let him, hey. Move, bro. So anyway, now today, day 3 of me going up on that diet and giving them more food than I was giving them. And I said I was gonna wait for 7 days to see any type of I said I was gonna wait for 7 days and see any type of progress. See how it was working out, and it's working out before 7 days, because this girl right here, I can see the weights that she's putting on already. I can look at her and I can see her weight going up. Her weight going up fast too. She done got a lot thicker in these little 3 days that I went up. Hey man, chill out, man. Chill out, man. So I've been seeing some progress in these last 7 days. So I know that's what was going on. It was time for me to go up on their feet as they get older and they start growing. You gotta spread them out. So I done seen some progress with her. I ain't seen as much progress with him, but like I said, we gonna give it 7 days. I done seen a lot of progress. Colors, he done got a little bigger too. He put on some weight. And then Crook up there, he done put on some weight as well. So it's definitely working. It's definitely working. They getting a little bigger like I wanted them to, because whenever I do decide that I want to run them, I want them to be right. I want to be able to have people to see the parents, and when they see the parents, they like, okay, yeah, I definitely want one of those. And they was already like that, but I'm just adding on to it. I'm just adding on to it. Because we got little boy Blue over here. Little boy Blue, he always had some weight. He ain't never been He been growing. He was the smallest one out of his litter when I had him. He was the runt, and now he done put some nice size on, and he active. He real active, and he a beauty though. He a beautiful dog. He got pretty. He got a nice body on him. He got a wide body on him a little bit. But I definitely watch the way. I got a certain way that I control my dog's growth. If you know anything about dogs, you would know that you can control a dog's growth. Actually, in the keeping of the dog, but a lot of people don't know that. But I know it. Come on, go outside, go outside, go. Little girl, would you come on and go outside? Go, come on, get. And there you go. Go down there and get your water. Boy, them little dogs, no, they something. Like I said, they hella. They definitely active as hell. But you can control the dog growth. Believe it or not, you can actually dictate how you want your dog to grow and still be healthy without making them super big or super small. You can make them to your liking if you know how. And it ain't hard to do. It's just you have to control. You gotta control the diet. And the first thing that you really gotta do is you gotta know. First, you gonna have to know how you want them. Do you want them tall? Or do you want them wide? And that's the first thing you gotta ask yourself. So now, if you want a dog to grow tall, what you do is you put them in a tall cage, and you put them in a tall cage that's not really wide. And if you want them to grow wide, you put them in a short cage that's wide. And you keep them in there as you raise them. And of course, you let them out when you let them out to use the bathroom and exercise and play and stuff. But it's just like a snake. It's just like a snake or an alligator or a crocodile. If you don't want the snake to grow real big, then you put the snake in a cage. And you put him in a cage the size that you want him to grow to. Because he's not gonna outgrow what you got him living in. So that's a way that you dictate how you want your dog to grow. You can dictate the way you want your dog to grow simply by what you house them in. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think that you can, if you let a dog grow outside the cage, if you got a big dog and you want him to be big and grow big, then you raise them out of cage. You don't put them in, you let them, live cage free. You let them live cage free, and what they'll do is they'll grow to their fullest potential, if that's what you want. But a lot of people, when they want bullies, they want their bullies to be low. They want them to be low, but they don't know what to do to make the dog grow and be wide and low. They be looking and wondering like, dang, man, I want him to be like that. They'll see a certain type of bully that they like, and they'll be, that's how I want my dog. And you know, but they don't know that they could actually make their dog like that if they knew how. A lot of people don't know that though, that you can actually control your dog's growth. And like I said, that don't mean that you doing no abusing. You ain't gotta be abusing it or mistreating the dog, or you know, or what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, you don't have to be doing the dog wrong in order for them to grow. If you don't want them to be big, okay, you're not neglecting the dog, is the word that I was looking for. You don't have to necessarily be doing no neglect because you're trying to keep the dog from being super big. You simply just have to, you gotta have the dog living area, you know, the size you want them to be, because most of the time a dog, no matter what and how much you feed them, if you keeping them and they living in cages, then you gonna keep them at a certain size, because their cages basically dictating their growth. You know, you keeping them where you want them. And that's where a lot of people mess up, because they figure that they ain't with kennel. They don't do kennel training and kennel growth. You know, if you look up kennel growth, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And it's like Crook. Crook that size, because that's the size I want Crook to be. I don't want Crook to be, you know, too big, too tall. I want him to be like he is. I want him to be exactly like he is. I got him like I got him for a reason. Because when I breed them, or if somebody comes and they looking for, they trying to take away the size, or they trying to take away the height off their dog, off their next generation, or they trying to take the size off their next litter, then they gonna wanna make the dog to something that's not tall. But if you can't find the right thing, then you ain't gonna get the mate. You ain't gonna get the litter that you're looking for. You ain't gonna get what you're looking for, because people don't know how to control the growth. Now, if you want your dog to just be like what it naturally can be, then yeah, you let the dog live free, and you don't keep them in kennels or cages, and then you will get that maximum growth out their dog. Okay? Now me, I'm not trying to get the maximum growth out of all my dogs. I got certain dogs that's gonna have a maximum growth, and then I have the dogs that I can control. I can control their growth, but they still be healthy, and they still be beautiful, and they still be good dogs, good temperaments, long lifespans. And so, you know, if that's what you're shooting for, then that's what you gonna get. But if you take a dog and you want them to be short, you want them to be small, but you allowing him to just run just totally free, then you're not gonna get that type of growth out of him. You're gonna actually get his maximum growth. And then you gonna be like, dang, why he ain't looking like this? Cause you know you can have a litter mate and you can have two dogs that come from the same parents, and one dog look totally different from the other dog. Like you wouldn't be able to tell that they came out the same litter. And reason being is because of the growth control. It'll be the growth control that's that's making the dogs look like two totally different litters. Like they ain't brothers and sisters. Because if you look at my litters, I got Miss Sinatra. Miss Sinatra is short and she's a little wide. She a little thicky. She a little short, thick thing, like her mama. But anybody that see the mama bullies, they see how healthy they are, and they see, they see their temperaments when I have them out. They see their temperaments when I have them out, and they see their size. And they be looking like, dang, she nice. She the right size. But if I ain't raised her the way I raised her, she would be way bigger, or she would be way taller than she is. So I controlled that. I controlled the way that they mama size was, because a lot of them, they bigger than they mamas. Well, not all of them, but some of them. Some of them is just as big as they mamas are right now. And normally, but most dogs outgrow their parents anyway. But with my dogs, I got some of them that's big as the mama, and I got some of them that's small as the mama. But most of them, ain't none of them big as their daddies. Not right now, no way. Once they get to their maximum age, to where they stop growing, then I have some they daddy size. Because what I do with my dogs is I start them off with my bullies. Let me say that. What I do with my bullies is I start a lot of them off at a slow growth. And then once they start getting older and they hit about 3 years old, they stop growing at around 4 or 5. So once they hit about 3, that's when I start taking them out the cages. And then that's when I start making them wide and start, doing different things with them, because you really ain't supposed to exercise a dog until they 2 years old. A lot of people exercise dogs too early. You're not supposed to exercise your dog, especially on weight training or winding, trying to, keep their wind up. You don't do that at no early age, because what'll happen is you'll mess up the dog. You'll mess up the dog limbs. Their limbs don't develop enough to hold the muscle. And then once they get older and the limbs are not developed enough to hold the muscle, then you're going to have an awkward growth. You're going to have, your dog balance going to be off. The dog ain't going to really have no athleticism. Like, it ain't going to be no jumping dog that can really jump up on stuff or jump over stuff, because you didn't give the dog enough time for his limbs to actually get strong enough to hold the muscle. And then you go and put them on all these weights. Once they get, older, you keep them on that heavy weight, and the dog can't carry it. Or they can carry it, but they end up with hip problems and, different little problems because you didn't do it right. You started them too early. You can't start them too early. You gotta start them right. When they young, you gotta do just enough to keep them developing. That's all you gotta do. You gotta do enough that's gonna keep them developing. You don't want to overdo it. Because when you overdo it, you won't see the problem until they get older. And then once they get a certain age, that's when you're going to see the problems that you help the dog develop by doing stuff with them too early. You doing stuff with them too early, and that's when you start seeing all your different problems. So everybody that's on, they gonna be able to come and be able to do their questioning and be able to say what they want to say, because if they don't agree with what they see, and you see, like, I'm gonna show you. You see how they go. You see how they go. That's a good looking dog. They get out and they get their exercise because I exercise them properly. That's a proper growth right there. That's a good size and everything. That's a bully right there. The same thing with this one right here. You see it? Good size. See, I kept her short. I kept her short like I wanted her. See, because I did growth control. And coming soon, I'll take them out the cages, and then I have them almost as wide as the cage. That's the next thing that's coming. I'm going to bring them out, and I'm going to put them in the back, and I'm going to start letting them, get their proper exercise, because their limbs is done got to a point of where they limbs is fully developed, and now I can start adding the muscle mass onto them. I can start adding the muscle mass onto them because I got their limbs and everything developed. See, and as you see, he developed real good. This one right here, you can look at him and you can see how he developed. Little boy Blow. You can see how much he developed. You can see his body. He's been out there running in that water and playing in that water. But you can see how he developed. And now it's time for me to start putting the muscle onto him. So, hey boy, that's a good looking dog right there. Hey. What's up, boy? And he happy, confident. They not scary at all. These dogs ain't got no furs. And see, it's just like a scientist. People will get mad at me and say I got dogs in the cage, but a scientist can take a monkey and put a monkey in a cage and can decide, on how to make certain they could turn them into test dummies, and they can start testing the monkeys. And then won't nobody say nothing, it'll be okay. But you gotta understand science. That was one of my favorite subjects, was science. And the reason science was one of my favorite subjects was because science is basically the idea of the way things work. Science is what they use to make certain type of little projects or to develop things. Science is definitely, come on. Science is one of the most important subjects. Come on, man. Let's go. Come on, boy. Come on. Come here. This way. Come on. Come here. Come on. There you go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, boy. Go ahead. Come on. We're going this way, Crook. Little Crook right there. Little Crook want to smell all on his sister's butt. Cause she in heat, but that's your sister. You can't have her. But science is one of the most important subjects in school because the scientists are the people that's coming up with all this stuff that's being developed today. If it wasn't for science, they wouldn't have a lot of things that they got. And science go all the way back to the 16th century with witch doctors and all that type of stuff. You have witch doctors and you had a lot of natural remedies. People used a lot of natural remedies back when, because it wasn't nothing else to use. You know, they knew what plants to eat, or they figured out what plants to eat to, you know, to get over a illness. They even knew what plants to use if they wanted to do something as simple as get high. They knew which mushrooms to eat if they wanted to get high. You know, and so what they did later on as life developed, as the world developed, they just started taking all that same stuff and they learned how to put it all together and put it in one thing, like a pill. You know, so science is still going on. And if you at home and you working on your own projects, then you should be studying science. Science should have been one of your top priority classes, because that's how you gonna know how to do what you're trying to do. You're gonna have to know how to do your own type of science. And I know that people think that sounds crazy or whatever, people that don't know no better, but it's the truth. If you want to create something, then that means you want to be a scientist. If you're trying to create something that's going to take a formula, if you're going to use something, you know, just like how they make drugs. They started off with cocaine, and then they want the world to think that the black man came up with crack. That's what they want you to think and believe. That we was the ones who learned how to take cocaine, put it in a test tube, and cook it, and turn it into a hard substance. We didn't learn how to do that. They learned how to do it, and they passed it on. They first let everybody, you know, play around and get hooked on one thing first. They gotta take it slow. And they gotta let you get caught up on one thing first. And then after that, that's when they gonna bring the next thing. Just like heroin. They started having heroin, and they went and let people get addicted to heroin, and they learned how to make it to where your body can't go without it. Then they cut it off and leave you in the dependent stage. And then they drop something else with opiates in it, and they called it fentanyl. So now, they made something that's 10,000 times stronger than something that's already dangerous. It was already dangerous, and it was already highly addictive. Then they put the stories behind it and tell you the soldiers used it in the war, you know, because they wanted to be able to deal with the emotions of fighting in a war. But when you use common sense and you use your head, you know that that ain't no strong truth. It ain't no strong truth to that. Because anybody that's in the war and you can die at any given time, you gonna be focused. You gonna be focused and you ain't gonna want to be somewhere. Hey, stop, man. You ain't gonna want to be somewhere nodding off and falling asleep uncontrollably, and then the enemy walk right up on you and bang you. So no, they gave them soldiers that stuff. So when them soldiers went home, them soldiers was already addicted. And it ain't for no, because they don't want to see dead people in their sleep and all that stuff. It wasn't for that. And it wasn't for the PSD or whatever they call it. All the stories they give you that you shouldn't be believing. They want you to believe that, oh, they prescribe that to the soldiers for PSD, post-traumatic PTSD, post-traumatic stress or whatever. That's what they want you to believe that it was for. And so, if it was for that, if that's what it was for, then why end up in the streets more than the hospitals? It should have been in the hospitals more, you would think. And you can't go to the hospitals and say, prescribe me some heroin. And yeah, you can go to the hospitals and you could possibly get fentanyl, but it's gonna be hospital fentanyl. It's gonna be medical fentanyl. It's not gonna be street fentanyl. It's not gonna be the stuff that people putting in their needles on the street and what people snorting on the street. It ain't gonna be that. It's gonna be the street version, because one thing we know is they got all type of laboratories that they using to make meth with. They got laboratories that they using to make fentanyl with over in them third world countries. And them third world countries making all this stuff and then getting it over here, right? But they not supplying it to the hospitals. So where are the hospitals getting it from? Because the hospitals ain't getting it from the cartel. The hospitals ain't getting it from the mafia. They not getting it from them. So where is the hospital getting this stuff from? My point is that they gotta in order to get it. And we know they not going over there and getting it themselves. We know that. They ain't going over there getting the opiate flower and bringing it over here and then making it. They in cahoots with somebody. And whoever they in cahoots with, that's who's making it. You understand? And then they put it in the hospital. And like I said, you got the hospital version. You got the hospital version. Then you got the street version. And they not gonna give you no dosage or nothing in the hospital that's gonna kill you. The hospital ain't gonna put no fentanyl in you and you just go OD and die right there. It don't work like that, cause then what'll happen, they'll be getting sued and they'll be paying out a whole bunch of money. So that's not how it's getting done. But they'll really confuse you on this stuff, and you won't know how it's getting done. Cause I guarantee you, that's one thing a lot of people ain't never thought about. Damn, who's supplying the hospitals with it? Because the hospitals got it. Come on. That's what we first learned about it. You ready, boy? Up. That's the first place we learned about it. That's the first place I learned about it, in the hospital. Because a buddy of mine, mother, had cancer. And she had fentanyl patches. That's how we ever first heard of fentanyl. And I seen somebody scraping the patches and they using it and it ain't killed them. So, you know, it make you question. It make you question why is this product, why the street version killing so many people, but the hospital version ain't doing nothing but make you go to sleep. You understand? The hospital version just making you go to sleep, and then the street version, if it's pure, when you just smell it, that shit can kill you. You understand? All you gotta do is smell it. You ain't gotta touch it. You don't gotta do none of that. All you gotta do is smell it, and it'll kill you. And now, look at the drugs that they charging Puffy with. GHP or whatever that stuff is that was supposed to be in the baby oil. You put some baby oil on, and bang, you fall over and you die. You know what I'm saying? They making it, you know that, they making it just like that. You just rub it on your skin and boom, you dead. Or you so high, a person could do whatever they want to do with you and you won't even have an idea until they show you a videotape and say, you did this yesterday, and they looking like, what the hell? They ain't got an idea that they was, you know, partying that hard. They see the videotape and they naked and they dancing and freaking and fucking butt naked on the dance floor next to a couple of people. And the only thing they didn't do on tape was put the baby all on, so they can't blame nobody. But when they look at that tape and they out of their mind, you know, and they having sex willingly, now they stuck at a standstill. I can't tell nobody I got raped because look at the tape. I'm asking for it. I'm enjoying it. You know. So they got a lot of, what's up, man? They got a lot of different, they got a lot of different little methods and ways that they do stuff, and it makes you say, dang, you know, it leaves you in question. And it make you say, ask yourself, and then a person will be confused and knowing that something can't be right. This couldn't have been, I couldn't have did this voluntarily. I don't even remember this. But at the same time, it ain't nothing they can, they feel like it ain't nothing they can do about it because they also know if they go crying and complaining, they know that they might not get another movie script. You know, person threaten them and tell them, hey, you go and you go and you go make a deal out of this. We gonna make sure that you don't ever get in another good movie ever again in your life. And your Hollywood lifestyle, you can kiss it bye-bye. See, that's the way they play the game. That's the way they play the game. The game of what they call it, blackmailing. Puffy played that game well, but at the end of the day, he played it with the wrong people, I would guess. And he tried to pull he tried to pull the cover, tried to pull the wool over the wrong people's heads. That's not going. That's not going. You know, he pulled the wool over some people's heads that's way more powerful than him. And he tried to dictate their movement and tried to dictate, you know, what they was gonna do. And they ain't care. They didn't care about worrying about getting another movie script. They ain't care about none of that. They just like, okay, you want war, we're gonna take you to war. And he got to a point to where he felt untouchable. And I could see him feeling untouchable because he's a black man in America. He done touched about $1 billion. So yeah, you can't tell him nothing. What can you tell him? Can't tell that man nothing. You know? And I'm pretty sure somebody tried to tell him something. Somebody tried to say, hey, man, you messing with the wrong people, man. Leave that alone. And he probably, had his own self and told them, man, F them. F them. I run this. This our world, baby. Just like in the movies. This our world, baby. And he did it with the wrong people. He did it with the people that let him think that this was his world. They allow him to think that. We gonna let you think this your world. But in all actuality, this ain't your world. But we gonna let you think it. We gonna give you enough money. We gonna let you get big as hell. We gonna help you. We gonna help you think this your world. We even gonna call you daddy sometime. And the whole time, they was just sitting there looking at him. And when they leave, they telling each other, this boy, he really eating it up right now, ain't he? And that's what they telling each other after that. Like he really eating it up. He really believe that this is his stuff. his shit, you know. And now look at him. He's sitting in there. And I know how he feel, cause I done sat in there. And I know he feel like, dang, I let all this go to my head. Cause he's sober now, and he thinking in his right state of mind. And no matter what he getting jailed, cause I'm pretty sure he eating cheeseburgers and steak, and cause he who he is, it's costing him a lot of money. But you know, it costing him a lot of money out here. And he's still souping himself up, telling himself, oh, it ain't that, man. Go on and get it for me, man. You know it, man. I'm puffy, man. Bring me a couple of steaks and bring my man a steak too. You know, that's how he feeling. Cause you know, he in there, but the reality is he still know, even after he do all that heaviness, he put his head down at nighttime and say, damn, I want to go home. It's hard to be on the phone talking to your kids and then you gotta get off and you know you ain't going with them. You ain't gonna be there to see them. The only way you gonna see them is they come and see you. Here I come, Colin. Hold on, boy. Here I come, Colin. Here I come. And so you know that's bounce with it, bounce with it, bounce with it, bounce with it. Come on, bounce with it, bounce with it. Why y'all stop bouncing? But man, yeah, his reality is he know he ain't going home. He finna spend another night. And I thought he was out. People almost made me believe, get back. Made me get back. Get back. People made me believe he was out. Come on, cause you know you and Clay can't get along. Come on. Go eat. So you know he know like shit, I ain't going home. And he know that, man. And you know, when that's your reality, no matter what you done in life, no matter how much you done had, when you ain't got your freedom no more, shoot, hey, don't none of that shit mean nothing when you ain't going nowhere. And I'm telling you from experience. When you see people walking out that door, because people go home every day. And when you ain't one of them that's going home, and you steady watching them and you see some of them come back 4 weeks later, 3 weeks later, and you be like, dang, man, did you just go home? Yeah, man. Like, what the hell you doing back? Man, it ain't easy out there. It's hard out there. You know? That be a lot of dudes' excuses. That be the number one excuse for most people you see go to prison, come home from prison, go right back. They talk about how hard society is, starting from zero. Cause you know when you go home from jail, man, and you ain't got nothing and you ain't had nothing before you win, you coming back, you starting from zero. And even if you done had something and then you no longer got nothing, you know, and you starting from zilch, it do be hard. But it's all over. It's all over a person being financially, you gotta be financially literate. if you financially literate, you will learn how to always have some money in your pocket. Having money in your pocket ain't gonna ever be hard because you taught yourself under any circumstances, you taught yourself always how to have $1 in your pocket. And people that's financially literate won't never go broke. You may not have the money you want, but you always be able to buy a Big Mac or a taco. You know, you always have you a vehicle. You always have a roof over your head. You know, you may even always have on a nice pair of tennis. But what you ain't gonna do is you ain't gonna just not ever not have nothing. Now once you financially literate. And that's what a lot of people don't teach they people. They teach them everything else but how to be financial literate. Because that's something they hide from people because they don't want you to be financial literate. They want you to be illiterate. Because if you illiterate, then they ain't got to never worry about you having nothing. And then they ain't got to never worry about you having as much as them anyway. You know, it's just like the stories they put on YouTube, like as far as with 50 Cent and this Big Meech stuff, saying he got a GoFundMe page, and they laugh, you know, everybody looking at and laughing about saying he told and he broke now. And everybody saying that's what he get. But listen, that man financially literate. That man ain't broke. That man ducking all the, he trying not to, I ain't gonna say he trying not to lose the stuff he got, because that ain't it either. What he doing is he making the stuff that he got cheap. Because when you file for bankruptcy and you file a Chapter 13 or anything like that, you don't never file it until you went and bought you a house, financed a car, financed a boat, financed apartment building, a motorcycle, another car. Once you get all these bills, once you get all this stuff and you create all these bills, but everything you got is part of your lifestyle. You got boats, planes, houses, motorcycles. You got all that. Then you file a Chapter 13 of bankruptcy because they only can charge you however much you can afford to pay. And so now, if your expenses was $100,000 a month, it can go down to $3,000 a month because you filed bankruptcy and you only making so much doing what you doing that you can't afford to pay for all this stuff that you got. You can't afford it. So now they knocking the price down. They knocking the price way down for you. Okay, you ain't gotta pay nothing but this much a month now. But it's gonna go on your credit. And that's the reason why you don't file it until you got everything you want, because it's gonna take you about 7 years or so to come up out of that financial situation, to build your credit back up and get back in good standings for people to wanna work with you and give you something. You're gonna have to get back in good standings. And that takes a while. So that's why they said make sure that you got everything that you want, because you're going to get everything you want. All the stuff I just named, you're going to almost get it for free. And it ain't going to be nothing you ain't going to have to pay for. It ain't going to be no problem to pay for it. Uh-oh, you heard the helicopters. You heard the helicopters, boy? Where they at? Where they going? So yeah, so that's why they tell you to make sure when you file a chapter 13 or you file a bankruptcy, you got everything that you want. You got every materialistic thing that you want to have. You got it. You got it. Because it ain't going to be nothing for you to pay for it now. So that's why people act like they broke and ain't got no money. Come on. Yeah, y'all supposed to knew that already. Master P did it. And I've literally had people to tell me that at one point in time, I had people to tell me that Master P was broke. I got to an argument with somebody because they wanted me to believe that Master P was broke. And I said, boy, you got to be crazy. You got to be crazy. They straight up argued me up and down that Master P lost all his stuff because of a divorce or a lawsuit or whatever it was. And I said, boy, people crazy as hell. They told me he just filed bankruptcy. And I'm looking at them like, okay, and? They like, so that means he ain't got no money. I'm like, okay. Master P rich, one of the richest men on the face of the earth. One of the richest black men on the face of the earth. And his money can't even be counted. And that's where else people mess up with. They think they can count people's money. You can't count them folks' money, man. They got their hands set up for you not to be able to count their money. They got their hands set up for the IRS not to count their money. So how in the heck you gonna count their money? How you gonna come up with knowing how much somebody got? You can't dictate. You don't know how much nobody got. And all you doing is looking at them on the telephone and you guessing how much a billionaire got. You done seen it. You done seen the work they put in. You done seen the money, the numbers they done put up on just what they was doing. Like No Limit, Master P. Everybody seen Master P dropping albums back to back to back to back. He was dropping albums all the time. And people silly enough to think that man broke. And he was dropping an album every week with a different artist. And everybody was going platinum. Then he was dropping his own music. And his stuff was selling just as much as everybody else that's on his label stuff. And he paid all his artists up front. He was smart enough to give them enough money that they never had seen. And they said, cool, and signed the label. But he also put them in position to where they just didn't do the right thing because yeah, he got all the money that they made for him off their albums. But they still could have made more albums and they could have learned the business and been just as big in the game as him when he walked away. When he was ready to say, okay, you on your own now. They could have still made as much money as he made if they would have just stuck to the business and learned what it was they were supposed to have learned. So now y'all see everybody that be rowdy when I first come in, you see now they laid back, they chilling, everybody quiet. He the only one that ain't laying down. Everybody else laying down, chilling. Everybody else, they done ate. They done drunk their water. They done ran outside for a little while. And now they chilling. And it's time for them to go to bed. They on the schedule. This what they do every night. We got this schedule down packed. So now it's time for me to go in and get the other dogs out to use the bathroom. They already done ate. They gonna come out and get their water, drink their water. And that little puppy in there, she drink too much doggone water. She gonna drink way more water than she need. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let Diego drink a lot of the water up. And after he drink up the water, then I'm gonna bring her out. Come on, he should go straight to the water no, he going to the bathroom. You ain't going to get you no water, Diego? Diego like, no, I'm going to the bathroom. That's the Don Corleone of the yard right there. That's the big dog. That's the big boy of the yard. And you see, hey, get off that, man. What's that? Leave it. Hey, leave it. Diego, I said leave it. Man. You see how he ain't got no fur? He like, man, get the hell on. What you gonna do to me? Hey, man, leave it now. Let's go. Okay, I got something for you. You think I'm playing with you? Huh? You think I'm playing? You think I'm playing with you? Didn't I tell you to leave it? Huh? Get on. Hurry up. That's how you gotta treat that big old sucker there. Now don't y'all come over here and try that. This ain't gonna work for y'all. Only do that. Look at that hump on his back. Boy, that's the perfect barbel. Look at him. If you got a barbel, Look and see if your boy got a hump on his back, like a camel. Look at that hump. That's the specified marking on a barbel. They should have a hump on the back, on their back. If they ain't got that hump, then they questionable. You see the muscles right there on the side, on his back. Look at his top of his back width. Look at that. It look like he got shoulder pads on. And see, the way you gonna get your dog back like that, you gotta take all that fat out his diet. Everybody giving their dogs high protein and high fat. No, high protein, low fat. And that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get stone muscle. See, that's just all muscle right there. Look at him.